What's up, y'all? I apologize. If you're watching this, please watch it all the way through. I know it's gonna be hard because it's poor quality. The system I've been using, it did not want to save the full version for me today. I don't know why, but this is a disclaimer. The video itself is up. I have it following this little disclaimer. Um, but yeah, it's not in the best quality, but I try my best to get it up because I talked for 30 minutes and I was not trying to do it again. But yeah, stay tuned. Please watch the video all the way through, or if you don't watch it all the way through, just listen to it and let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all as always. Thank you. What's poppin', y'all? We are back for episode 3 of Baddies. Tesehki was duping that girl. Chrisean sent her friends to get beat up, and we're gonna get to see it next week. Tesehki is exactly what I was telling y'all last week when I was talking about how Scotty, you can tell she don't know how to fight and she's a fake fighter and a wannabe. She wants to pretend and act like she's really a fighter when she's not. Tesehki in that little small sneak peek that they showed us at the end, you can tell like this is what I'm talking about. Like real fighters don't just be like there's a stance. She was jabbing. Tesehki was jabbing, and it was just straight face shotting. Like that's how I'm telling you. That's how you know who can fight, who can't fight. Tesehki can fight. I'm ready for that episode next week. She was duping old girl. Like Chrisean friend, you could tell she might have tried. I don't know if she got one little hit on her, but you can tell she can't fight. Like you can tell she just be throwing them. Tesehki, you could tell she could fight. That stance alone already told me what I needed to know. But enough of that. We're gonna get into this episode 3. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below, subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate all of y'all that have been doing that. We almost got like 20 in the last 2 weeks, so I appreciate y'all. Keep thumbsing up the video, keep sharing, keep watching, and keep dropping the comments because I'll be down there with y'all. But let's go. So we get back to a new day. It's a whole new day. We got the girls getting on the bus, the sprinter, to go to the DC house. We finally get to see the house. And the girls that are on the first sprinter is Natalie, Scotty, T, and Rolly. So they get on the first one. Rolly's asking, like, where the rest of the girls at? Because there's only 4 of them on the bus. And she's asking, like, surely we ain't going to have to wait for these girls to get here for us to go see the house. And Natalie's like, nah. But we also get another scene where they pan to the rest of the girls, which are on the other sprint. And the rest of the girls that were included were Tesehki, Sky, Camila, Smiley, Vicky, Saya, and Anna Mac. Every last one of them girls on that bus, that's the girls that I like. I really like my favorites for real right now is definitely Tesehki, Camila, Sky, and Anna Mac. Those 4 are my 4. Like I like those 4 the most so far right now. But they're on that sprinter bus. Anna's got a splint on her pinky finger. And they start talking about pretty much how like Chrisean and Tesehki look alike and whatever, because they're finally getting to really see Tesehki. And with that splint on her finger, I found that funny because that splint is a reason. It's not because she hurt her. It's like she was duping Scotty so much that stuff like that happens. Like you saw what happened with Seven when Seven had that fight on season with the big girl. Seven ended up spraining her hand. It's because you hitting somebody too hard. But enough of that. They started talking about how Chrisean and Tesehki look alike. Anna was also intrigued with meeting Tesehki because she already knows that there's already some like tension between Anna Mac and Chrisean, possibly, considering everything that had happened. And she was wondering how the energy was going to be with her because she is Chrisean's sister, but she's saying that like they're really cool, like she likes her, and they're good. So we see that, and then they go back to the other sprinter where Natalie's telling them like they're going to the house, and the house is a little bit further from the club that they're going to be having their appearance at. And the only reason why they're doing that is because they didn't have too many houses closer by. And I'm like, Natalie, this is how you can tell y'all don't be planning ahead of time. Because like my thing is, if you know you're going to certain things and stuff, and that's a lot. I think that's cap too, because there's a lot of places that have nice places down. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think, because in terms of like, I'm trying to think in terms of like mansions and stuff in downtown DC. I've been to DC numerous times. Y'all know I'm a Washington Commander now, but Redskin fan. I've been to DC more times than I can count since I was 12 years old. DC, I mean, if you're going into like the city in DC, I guess she's kind of right because it is kind of a way out, and they don't really have too many. You don't have big houses in the city, so I guess she's right. But my whole thing is too with the house, like, and we'll get to the house later on. But like Natalie, if y'all know y'all going to certain cities, y'all need to be like seeking out these places, going to these places. Like you just booking them and then getting there and seeing what it is, and it's just like, oh shit, why am I here? I don't want to be here. It's not to my caliber. Like you would know that if you actually took the time ahead of time before you start filming to go scope these places out. But it is what it is. Then on the other bus, we got Smiley asking Tesehki what had happened with her and Natalie. And Tesehki was saying like she a meatball. She loved calling Natalie a meatball, which is funny to me. She's saying she goofy as fuck and she needs to stay out of family business, which we all have said. Like, yeah, Natalie, regardless of the situation, if siblings are fighting, family is fighting, that is not your business to get involved with. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna have each other's back, regardless. Especially if push comes to shove. If normal people, I'm gonna say normal people, because Chrisean's not normal. Normal people, if somebody's fighting their own, regardless of what kind of beef they got going on, they're gonna take their family side over the other one. Chrisean might not, but and we'll get to that later on. But Natalie's crew, they ended up getting to the house. They were the first ones to get to the house, and I notated that it is pitch black outside because they got on the bus. The episode started and it was light outside. You could say they didn't get off the Sprinter until nighttime. And surely I hope they weren't traveling the whole time. And if they were in DC, I don't know why it took them so long to get to the house because it was pitch black outside. You could tell it was completely different time of day when they got to the house. So they got there, they get off the bus, they open up the door. It's the same as always. There's barely any furniture in there. They get to the living space. There's more furniture there, but it's just like, you can tell it's an Airbnb type situation. So all of them talking about their vibes of the show, of the house. And, you know, Zeus has to find a way to always include each and every last one of their individual opinion about the same thing, which I can't stand. I wish they would stop doing that. Like, watch these regular shows. Like, one person's opinion about it is enough. And if anything, if you want to do that, like, compile it in like a little 10-second clip, like, boom, boom, boom. But no, they got to give everybody their individual thoughts. Everybody's saying the same thing, like, oh my God, like this house is old looking and whatever. T is the only one who's trying to, she's trying her best to not complain about it. But you can see it all over her face. She is not feeling it. She's not feeling it at all. So they go around looking for rooms as they always do. And she ended up getting to her room. And she just don't even say nothing. She just started pulling the comforter off, started throwing. I swear I saw her throw some sheets on the bed that she brought out of her own bag, which I don't even blame her because I feel the same way. And I'm the type of person, like, when it goes to, like, going out and stuff, I've always been this way, even as a child. Like, when I go to, if it's not a Ritz-Carlton type hotel or if it's not something high-end, JW Marriott, I sleep with socks on. Like, that's just me because I always feel like beds are dirty. I don't trust the people that clean the beds. I always feel like they're not doing what they need to do, not cleaning it enough. I always look under the bed because you got to know what's under there. And you got to make sure you're not sitting on something, laying on something, because when you close your eyes and you sleeping at night, who knows what's about to come up under that bed? Who knows what's about to crawl up on you? So you got to be alert. So that's why I was not blaming her for bringing out her own sheets. And that's pretty much what that was. Of course, Natalie ended up getting the master bedroom. Of course, it was the best looking one out of all of them. But Natalie was noticing, like, they're probably going to need another house because she knows the rest of the girls are not going to go for it, especially if these ones right here are not going for it. So we get to the next scene. The second group comes and, well, they get to the house. And Tesehki's on, and we find out that it was Chrisean. Chrisean is saying that Tesehki has sent her location, pretty much let her know that they are there at that house. And Chrisean is kind of low-key upset because Tesehki is on the bus with the girls that Chrisean claims Tesehki was going to beat up. And then they show a little flashback of them having a conversation on live, Instagram Live, about basically Chrisean being pregnant, she can't fight nobody, but she's expecting Tesehki to run up and fight any and everybody that she has an issue with. Which, if she's gonna say that, I understand that. But this is where I knew for a fact Tesehki was my favorite. Like, I knew for a fact she was my favorite. She literally just said what I said last week. But we'll get to it. But Tesehki was saying she's not hitting anybody that is scared of her. And she said these girls on this bus are fragile. And she's talking about Chrisean has an issue with Vicky and she got an issue with Anime. Well, Vicky was pretty. Hold on, let me get to the point where I was at. I'm trying to keep up with my notes. Like I said, Chrisean said that Tesehki was going to be slapping everybody. And Chrisean was going to do the confront. So Tesehki gets back to the bus because her and Chrisean were off at Chrisean's little bus. So they come up together. Tesehki gets on the bus. She calls out Vicky. She calls out Anime. Like, what's the issue with Chrisean? Do y'all still have an issue with her? Do y'all want to apologize about it? Anime said she never had an issue with Chrisean. Chrisean was talking about her letting people in at the auditions and whatnot. Anna said that she did not. And Tesehki was asking Anna about the slow comment that she had under the comments in that video of Chrisean when she was really young, but she was looking really, really beautiful. Like Chrisean, like I said, Chrisean is a pretty girl, period. But she really looked, you can tell, like, it's sad when you literally see the old videos of Chrisean when she was like in high school, running track. The girl was beautiful. Like, you could tell, you could look at her and be like, damn, this girl could literally be something. And then just like you see how she is nowadays, and it's low key really sad to watch, honestly. Like, when you sit and look at it, because I try my best to not get involved, or at least not be too fixated on other people's lives. And obviously, we can't escape seeing Chrisean and Blueface, considering all the blogs they post them all day long, every day. But we know what she's going through, and we know what type of mess she's allowed to go on in her life. And like I said, we can't make her appear to be a victim, because a victim can only be a victim when they allow themselves to continue to endure all of that stuff. Well, they're no longer a victim at that point. Honestly, I feel like if you claim you're a victim, you're gonna try your best to kind of remove yourself from the situation. And she's not. And I'm talking, and I don't even know where I'm going with it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Chrisean is not a victim anymore, because Chrisean knows what's going on, and she allows herself to continue to be sitting there in the same revolving cycle. So Chrisean's not a victim, and Blueface is evil as fuck. But back to the point. They were asking if they wanted to apologize to Chrisean. And Anna said, Anna said that she was just trying to be funny with the slow comment, and said that she don't have an issue with Chrisean at all. So Chrisean was like, whatever. Tesehki then says, are you accepting her apology? Because I don't remember if Anna even apologized, but I know Vicky was apologizing. Chrisean said, no, fuck it. Like, fuck it. Chrisean was saying that, well, Vicky was liking and retweeting Blueface's tweets about their kid. And you looking at Vicky, we all knew she was in over her head being on the show to begin with. But you can really tell here in this moment, like, she is not meant to be on the show. Like, she looks scared as fuck. Like, she looking at Chrisean like Chrisean is batshit crazy. And she is batshit crazy. But she looking at her like she saw a ghost. And she's so scared. She's apologizing. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't da-da-da. Chrisean ain't trying to hear it. Chrisean ends up throwing her eczema cream at Vicky, which I thought was so whack. Because, like, Vicky, her liking and retweeting something, that does not call for all of that. Especially when you wouldn't do none of that to Blueface. Like, you wouldn't do none of that to him, and he's the reason you are as distraught as you are. But like I said, Vicky is scared, and Tesehki's saying, like, she's fragile. Stop doing that. Like, no. And then Chrisean get mad at Tesehki for not doing anything, not fighting Vicky, and not doing anything that Chrisean wants her to do. And Tesehki said exactly what I said last week, because that's how I am. If I have a problem with somebody, and they have a problem with me or whatever, and they're not even touching me, they're not trying to physically harm me, and I know I can beat your ass, like, barely even do anything and beat your ass, I'm not about to hit you. And that's what Tesehki was saying. Like, this girl is fragile. I'm not about to touch her, because my hands are lethal, and I'm not about to touch her because it's not worth it. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It's not worth it. Chrisean is looking like a bully. Like, that right there is bully type stuff, because this girl is not, she did not do enough for you to even be acting like this, to the point where you want to put your hands on her because she liking and retweeting stuff. Really? That's why? Chrisean was looking really crazy to me in this episode. But I think they got off the bus at this point. But Tesehki was still saying, like, I'm not fighting no girls that are scared of me and like it's timid. Like at this point, like these girls are not worth it. Chrisean's pissed off about it, talking about how she's sitting on the bus with bitches that be talking about her and whatnot. And it's like, they're really that deep. It's not that deep. Especially, it's like, considering the certain things, it would be one thing if these girls were tough girls that stood on it. You could tell Vicky is scared. And you can tell Vicky didn't even do much of nothing. Like, you can tell, like, she did not do much of nothing. Liking and retweeting. Really, Chrisean, grow up. But Tesehki was like, no, I'm not doing it. So she wasn't going for that. And Camila even notices it too. Everybody on the bus notices it. That Vicky was scared. And Camila was like, she is not on the right show. The show is not a fit for her. And Vicky was sitting on the bus crying. And Automike was saying too, like, I'm not arguing and fighting with a pregnant girl. Like, I'm not doing it. Which is why I appreciated and respected her. Because I wouldn't do it either. But Chrisean need to realize, like, you can't be out here pressing people when you're pregnant. And you can't be throwing stuff at people because if they want to throw something back at you, they should have the right to do it. But you're pregnant. And they're not going to do it. But you should not be putting yourself in that position and trying to take advantage of the fact that you are pregnant. Granted, you're probably going to beat half of these girls up anyways. But still. But the next scene... the rest of the girls ended up going into the house. Vicky is trailing behind the rest of them because she is scared shitless. Like, you can see it all over her face. Camila's still noticing how outdated the house is, just like everybody else has. She said all she needs is a bed, maybe a couch. Like, that's all she needs, and she good. And I'm like, exactly. Like, why are these girls on the show acting like it's something, like, it's not that big of a deal? Like, you barely even gonna be in, well, I ain't gonna say that because the Zeus, they don't really do much of nothing anyways. But essentially, you only need a bed. You just need to make sure that you have a bed to sleep on and it's clean. That's it at the end of the day, because you're not going to be at that house forever. Sky is also acting normal about it. Like, Sky, I'm so happy. You can tell Sky has literally grown up so much since Black Ink Crew. Because Black Ink Crew was off the chain, Sky. Like, off the chain. But you can tell she's in such a good headspace. You can tell, like, she's grown a lot, and I love to see it. So then Vicky ends up going and finding Rolly was up there, T was up there, Scotty was up there, and Natalie was up there. And they noticing how rattled she is. You can see it all over her face. Like, she is just bothered to the T. So Natalie ends up asking her what happens. Vicky starts telling her that somebody wanted to fight her over a misunderstanding. She didn't say who it was. Everybody's trying to figure out who it is. And she's saying how she's on this spiritual journey and it's more spiritual than personal and not fighting flesh and blood, just trying to still put on, I ain't gonna say put on, but she's trying to uphold this spiritual journey. And if she is on that spiritual journey genuinely, then more power to her. But you on the wrong show to be doing that, honestly, because these girls are not going to take you seriously. They're not going to try and go on that road with you. They're just not. You just on the wrong show, period. And you on the wrong network. Zeus is not, they don't do that. And they try to make fun of you when it comes to stuff like that. Just like last episode, every single scene she was in them confessionals, playing the church music. And not only that, they only showed her talking about Jesus. And when they showed it, it was like in moments where you could tell they were trying to be funny. So they're not taking you seriously, and it's just falling on deaf ears. They're trying to make you the laugh joke of the season. But they still asking what had happened. She tells them that somebody had threw something. So they wanted to know why. And then she started talking about how, the blogs and stuff, she starts double tapping on blogs and stuff. So she's not really saying what she was double tapping on. Rolly immediately knows that it was Chrisean. She knows Chrisean is the one that threw the stuff. So Natalie is still asking who it was. She's trying to figure out what's going on, who it was, so I can at least try to have a conversation with them, because it's upsetting to see how you are upset. Natalie is, I don't know if she's being genuine, but in this moment, I'm going to give it to her. Natalie did seem like she was being genuine. She was genuinely concerned about Vicky. In this moment, it looked like she was. So she said she knows what her purpose is, why she's there. She just doesn't want her to continue to be bothered as she is. So Natalie said you better, in her confessional, she said you better find somebody, you better team up with somebody who can fight your battles for you if you're not going to do it. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Natalie, in that moment, because if you're going to be there, if you're not going to fight, you better just somebody else to fight for you. But Rolly's still asking, and she's saying, "What was the post? Like, what was the post that you like?" And Vicky said that she don't know what the post was. She was just liking stuff. I'm like, Vicky, if that's true, then you need to stop doing that. But I don't believe that was true. I don't. I do believe she was liking stuff that she felt like she wanted to like. But she's playing it off like she was just liking anything. I don't know. She said that she's the type of person that just scrolls through and likes anything that's on. I'm like, really? If that's the truth, you need to stop doing it. But me, I don't do that. I only like stuff that I like or at least agree with. But Rolly was saying that Vicky was starting to get on her nerves, and you could tell, like Vicky was starting to really get on her nerves. And they start getting it out of Vicky. Vicky starts talking about how she liked the random tweet that was about that Blueface had tweeted. She said it randomly showed up on her feed. Rolly said it's unfair for Chrisean to be throwing stuff at people and be hitting people when she's pregnant because nobody can get her back, which I agree. Rolly was then saying too, like, if she was offended about something that Vicky had did, she has the right to state her opinion on that, which I also agree. But Chrisean, you are pregnant. When you start throwing stuff at people, once you start getting physical with people, you are putting your baby in harm. Fuck you. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about putting yourself in harm's way. But you have a child that did not want to be here. You don't need to be doing that. She don't even need to be here, period. But you don't need to be doing that because, and that's the thing. Chrisean knows what she was doing. She knew that she was gonna be able to do what she wanted to do with Vicky because she knew Vicky wasn't gonna fight back. Vicky is fragile, like your sister has said. But Rolly has said, "Don't come in here on that spiritual shit." She's saying it's like, "Don't come in here on that spiritual shit. Like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But I don't want to hear it. Like, we are here to turn up. You know what the show is like." And Rolly was saying real shit. Like, she was really saying real shit. Like, you know what the show is. So, like, you know what you signed up for. So don't act brand new whenever certain things happen that have happened before, which I agree with. But the next thing we get Natalie and the crew, they ended up going high alert because Scotty's coming down there and she's talking about how Scotty was talking about how she gonna be trying to fight her every single time she sees her. So I said, we're gonna see if she really about that action, if she really about that life. Which made me laugh because we know Scotty is not about that life. Scotty ain't do nothing. Which I'm glad she didn't do anything because you would be embarrassing yourself because you just got your ass beat like 5 or 6 times last week. You should not be wanting to fight anymore. And if you do continue to fight, you're going to look even more goofy than you did last week. And that's hard to top. But they ended up pouring up shots and stuff. Scotty's talking about her and Anna probably going to have another issue in her confessional. If y'all have another issue, it's probably because you started it. Because let's keep it real. Like, that issue is dead, should be dead, because Anna deaded it for you. Natalie lets them know that they're going out to Club Karma in DC tonight. Vicky is saying that she might come because I was asking if she's going to come. She said she don't go to clubs anymore, so she might come. She don't know for a fact if she is. She probably not. But Rolly goes outside. She's smoking, and Scotty and Camila are out there with her as well. And she starts talking about Vicky, saying how she's on this spiritual journey. She's not behind it. You can tell she's thinking that Vicky is fake because she got on the show, or at least when she was named as a part of the cast, I was not expecting her to be on the spiritual journey because I haven't followed Vicky ever, but I've seen her on social media to know what she was about, and she was fighting a chick, Catch Me Outside girl. And she was definitely on that type of time. She can't fight, but she was definitely on that type of time. She used to be popping it. But Vicky was funny back in the day. Vicky was like, you didn't take her seriously. And if you did take her seriously, then that was your own issue because she was clearly a joke. But that's the type of persona that Rolly has in her head. So she's like, this spiritual shit is just brand new to me. So I don't really know if I believe it or not. And shit, where did I go? I just scrolled on past. But yeah, she was saying how Vicky was around here saying nigga and shit. And at the end of the day, you know what you signed up for. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And that nigga stuff, that probably did have and left a sour taste in Rolly's mouth, which I don't blame her because I don't play with that either. Like, you're not black, it should not come out of your mouth. But we get back to the inside where Anna is sitting there talking to Natalie, asking if DJ Sky is coming because she don't fuck with her. And she basically said, like, Anna said that DJ Sky was in her DMs talking about how they she want to be cool with them, Leo gang, yada yada yada. And she was like, no, I don't fuck with her. And then Natalie's trying to like tell her to drop it. Like, we about to go on a tour. She's just a DJ. She's not gonna be here. Apparently, we'll see. She's just a DJ. She basically saying like, don't pay too much attention to her because she's not gonna be around us like that. And Anna was like, I can't tell her that I don't fuck with her. And Natalie was like, no, she's just a DJ. That little part was funny to me. But to get back outside to Rolly telling Scotty and Camila that basically telling them they need to stop babying her. This is a grown woman. At the end of the day, she does have a point there, but and I always say that like as a grown adult, you should be able to stand up for yourself. I feel like as a grown adult, you don't get bullied. I don't feel like you can bully a grown adult. I don't think so. Like I feel like if you're a grown adult, I feel like you should be able to defend yourself. And if you can't, then don't put yourself in situations to possibly end up in these type of situations. But like I said, I said that, but I do feel like Chrisean is trying to be a bully to Vicky, because you can clearly tell this girl does not want to have an issue with you, and it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. It'd be one thing if she was saying something about your family or whatever, but liking and retweeting something, that's not that big of a deal. But Rolly was saying that she knows that Vicky is scared, and she only scared because she think Chrisean gonna beat her up. And Camila said like Vicky gonna be out the house soon because don't nobody expect her to make it as long because she's already scared and they barely even done anything. So Natalie is still telling Anna and Vicky like if anything is overwhelming them, talk to her because you can clearly see Vicky is already overwhelmed. And Anna Mac has the asthma stuff going on, so she's like anything's overwhelming, just tell me. Anna said she ain't tripping over, she ain't scared. And then Natalie would say it too, like, Anna, you got a mouth on you, and that mouth's gonna get you in trouble. It's gonna get you into some shit. And Anna was like, yeah, I do, but the audacity of you, because you got a mouth too. And I was like, yeah, you're right about that. But Anna was like, at the end of the day, I got a mouth, but I can back it up. And I'm like, yep, that's why I respect you, because if you're gonna pop it, you better back it up. So Natalie is still sitting there trying to pep Vicky up the whole time. But you can tell her mind is preoccupied. She's basically probably thinking, like, where's Chrisean at so I can try to find my way to run. But most of the girls end up going out, joining Rolly, Camila, and Scotty. They're out there having fun, whatever. So then Smiley's talking about how she ain't staying in the house. She's back in the house with Natalie at this point, and they're sitting there having a conversation over the island. Natalie saying she wanted to talk to her because she found out about her having a tattoo about her. Which I don't believe because, and that's the thing too, Smiley said it's not a tattoo, it was a henna tattoo. And I believe her because they never showed the tattoo. It's like if it was a real tattoo, you would show it. And you would have some type of proof about it. And they don't. They're talking about it. She said it was a henna tattoo. Natalie was saying like it had her signature on it. Natalie's signature was also on the tattoo apparently. And Smiley's saying it was a signature from a book. Natalie's not buying it. Natalie's like, my end is a certain way. Don't nobody write their end like that. And it's like, we can't even see what the end looked like because we never saw what the tattoo looked like. So it's like, do we really know? I can't really tell you or not. But they doing all that, and they started having a conversation too. Smiley was saying how like she never, and that Smiley was also like denying it. Like she's like, I would never tattoo somebody on me, which I'm glad she said that because last week when it came out, I was looking at you like, damn, you kind of weird. But I'm glad she said that. But Natalie is sitting there saying like Smiley was everywhere the last season. I think it was the last season or maybe the last couple seasons. Saying that she was everywhere they were, wearing the same stuff they was, which is kind of odd. Because I'm like, okay, are you kind of like on some Sydney Star stalker shit? Like, what's going on? And Natalie wants to know how she got her number. And Smiley was like, she's well connected. She got ties to people in the industry. So apparently people passing Natalie's phone number around to other people, random people. So, but Smiley starts talking about how she's on the show for her son. Why am I freezing? Hold on. Okay. Smiley was saying she was on the show for her son. And of course, Natalie's relating to her because she got her daughter. I'm like, okay, you on the show for your son to fight. But then again, I'm sitting there thinking like she on the show to get the money so she can bring back to her child. Don't think Zeus is paying y'all like that, but maybe they are. Who knows? I don't know. But Natalie's respecting it because she's a mom as well. So enough of that. The last thing we get, Tesehki and Chrisean, they finally arrive to the house. Natalie's still talking to Smiley while they're coming in, but Natalie ends up hearing them. She's on alert now. Tesehki immediately comes in hot She coming in hot, ready to come to get Natalie. And security's trying to restrain her the whole time. And Teseki's pretty much saying, Natalie, know what time it is. Like, you keep trying to get involved in family business, and I don't go up for that. I respect it because I agree. I've said it numerous times. Stay out of business that is not yours, especially when it comes to family. So they start talking about that and talking about how Natalie was jumping in on the family beef. Natalie was saying she was only doing that to protect Chrisean. And Chrisean starts butting in saying that they weren't even cool, and they're not cool no more because Natalie's been unfollowing and liking shit. Back to the childish shit. Like, Chrisean, come on. That's really the issue. But then again, she got a point too, because Natalie is that type of person. So Natalie would do the same. She'd be mad about the same thing. So they both, you know what I'm saying. But Natalie's sitting there acting dumbfounded. Chrisean was saying all them bitches don't like her, talking about the girls on the show. They don't like her, but they're using her for clout. That's her favorite thing to say. But Natalie wants to know why she thinks that she don't fuck with her. And Chrisean started talking about the whole like unfollowing stuff. And it's like, Natalie, you knew why, but Natalie's got her producer hat on. But they start doing that, going back and forth. And why they're going back and forth, you see Tesehki trying to get at Natalie. And security is trying to their best to restrain her the whole time. That was funny to me. But Chrisean ends up getting irritated with Natalie. She starts throwing something at Natalie. And Natalie cracked me up in this scene because if you really look at Natalie, when Chrisean threw that at her, you could tell Natalie was like, find something to throw. And then you could tell, like, quick in her brain, she realized this woman is pregnant. And then she was looking at Chrisean like, bitch, why would you do that when you know you're pregnant? You know I can't throw nothing at you, especially when I'm on camera. Like, Natalie cracked me up in that moment. But Tesehki is sitting there basically going at Natalie, taunting Natalie, saying what she knows will really get Natalie irritated, which is, this is my show. What Natalie do? This is not your show. Like, that's the one thing you say to Natalie is going to irritate her. But Natalie's sitting there getting tough behind security because security is now over there around Natalie. She getting tough, acting hard. Tesehki ain't going for it. And Tesehki started throwing shit too. So they throwing shit. And that's pretty much where it ends there. Next week, we got the continuation of Natalie and Tesehki. Tesehki and Chrisean end up going to the house because of the whole stuff going on with Natalie. They get to the club and somebody's throwing eggs at Chrisean, which is why I say you need to not be there, regardless if you're pregnant or not. Not everybody's going to respect that. Chrisean's performing the same song she done performed for 4 years. Natalie's going off about it not being a Chrisean show, and if you want to make it a Chrisean show, make it a Chrisean show. Like I said, you talk about this not being Natalie's show, you're going to get her hot. Mariah and Tesehki also talking about how Tesehki had gotten jumped that was set up by Chrisean. And then we see Chrisean in the hotel with her friends that I'm assuming were the three that jumped Tesehki. And then we get Tesehki versus one of Chrisean's friends, which it looked like, and all the girls were sitting there watching it. Like, they all was out in the field. And it was on some one-on-one shit. And you could tell, like I told y'all at the beginning, Tesehki, the way she stood up and was just on her guard, and she was like, getting ready to jab it. I was like, yeah, she about to go off. Like, them hands about to get active. But let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up the video, drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you have not already. I will be back next Sunday. If you want to support me and really support me, you'll watch the Dancing with the Stars review that we got going on Tuesdays. And I'm going to be on a podcast, the same podcast I've been on, talking about the challenge. If you watch the challenge and you're watching this and see that I stopped doing it, not because I don't watch the season, because the season is still good. I'm tired. It's a lot. I'm doing like a lot of shows at one time, but I'm going to be doing another episode with them. Not this coming Friday, but next Friday. But yeah, I'll see y'all then. See y'all next week. Bye.